Welcome to our channel. Today Marie and I prepared something interesting for you. Usually we describe procedures before immigration is completed, what to do, how to get here, and sometimes we describe situation after landing, how to settle, what to do when you become Canadian. Today we will address certain issues, actually 5 most critical issues, what people face during actual PR landing process. Maria collected 5 the most critical ones, and I think I have to listen what they are.
For the first question, what should new immigrants expect during the immigration interview upon arrival at the border?
Very good question, Maria, because normally people expect one interview, which technically is correct because the first interview people kind of fail to see as separate part of the interview, but it is, because the first point of contact at the port of entry is CBSA officer or Canadian Border Service Agency officer, and that person basically assess your entry requirements right on the spot by asking you what's your purpose of visiting Canada today. Immigration officer is processing everything related to your identity, to your background, verifying all the data. And by the way, this is the point where people apply for the first ever PR card.
What essential documents should clients have ready for the process of landing?
Very good point, Maria, because it's a wide spectrum. Sometimes people say, well, I have my copper and that's it. That's what I need to do. On the other side of the spectrum, people carry the whole suitcase of paperwork with them. You don't have to do that, but you have to be prepared. If you land as business immigrant, that certain documents required regarding your business. But we always recommend people to have, let's put it this way, 2 sets of documents. One you present to the border officer and then to immigration right away, which is your passport and your copper. And in the briefcase, in a carry-on, somewhere close to you, not in the check-in luggage, you have to have certain documents related to your background. Normally, our clients very well organized because they prepare to cross the border. One folder is with personal documents like marriage certificate, birth certificates for people who accompany you to show that this is your spouse, this is your children. Second part of a separate folder we always recommend to have related to business, because it's not that unusual that landing officer can ask casual questions. How's your business? Or really a successful business already? What kind of business you have here? What do you do? And if you say, well, I don't know, and that will raise concern because the officer definitely will understand that something fishy here, and then the officers go deeper in questioning. So don't give them a reason to question you deeper. All questions at the first level of interview must be answered clearly. I always tell people, don't rush, doesn't matter how tired you are, listen carefully, verify all the information, because if you miss something, like I said, it will be big trouble to change your PR card later. So that's pretty much suffice the landing requirements for documents.
Right. How should you declare your belongings when entering Canada?
Many funny stories related to this, like my wife has jewelry, she has to wear everything on her. Well, that would look a little awkward, right? Like all the rings, all the earrings. This is impossible. Seriously speaking about the subject, you normally have to declare something that accompany you with you and accompanying in a separate shipment, let's say, because some people land and they send something by sea container or something like something very sensitive and dear to you, some pieces of furniture. Some people send cars and many things. It's just personal relationship and sentimental value for you. But in terms of declaration of belongings, we always tell people, well, be reasonable, because if you have something back and you're not sending this and it's not clearly identified as something that accompanying you separately as a shipment, then you don't have to declare it right there and then. And usually people come here, go to customs broker, and they discuss how it can be delivered here. Because normally, if it's for personal consumption or something that you use for a while, definitely you don't have to declare, and most definitely you don't have to pay any duties for that or tariffs. It's free. What people sometimes confuse about is the personal belongings in terms of valuable assets like gold or jewelry of certain cost and value. Well, depends how expensive it is, and usually we tell people you can skip declaration if it's just something normal, like you have few rings and few earrings and something else. But again, it's case by case scenario, because you have the whole box of gold. Of course, you have to explain what it is. Normal rule of thumb is to declare everything that in value exceeds 10,000 Canadian dollars per person. And with that, I always ask people to pay attention to Canadian dollar value versus, let's say, US dollar, because people say dollar and then they forget about the rate. Exchange rate is significant because, for example, 9,000 US dollars is exceeding 10,000 Canadian. So pay attention to those minor details, but declaration is it's a special form, by the way, and you will be fine if you proactively research a little bit with rules published on CBSA website.
Dr. Alex, our clients also are interested. Is health insurance coverage available immediately upon arrival?
Interesting point, Maria. Thank you for bringing this up, because it depends where people land and stay. For example, certain provinces in Canada, basically once you have social insurance, you can apply for health insurance right away. First province coming to my mind is Alberta. BC and other provinces in Canada, you have to stay here after landing for at least 3 months. So we always recommend people to have travel insurance to start. That will be a safe bet. In terms of insurance providers, well, people research themselves. We have, thanks God for internet, we have Google search can bring you multiple providers. See what suits your expectations, and since you have first time in Canada covered by your travel insurance, have insurance for your family and loved ones for, let's say, 6 months or something, and then you will obtain a local MSP plan. That's how they call it here. I, for example, give you a personal example. I moved from Alberta to BC, and they treat me as a foreigner because I moved from another province, so I had to wait for 3 months too.
And the final one, how can you apply for social insurance number once in Canada?
It's required, because how to become Canadian without having social insurance number, without being registered here as Canadian now? Couple things, thanks for bringing this up, because some people already have it. But don't be confused between temporary social insurance number and permanent. Because if you're here as a student worker, you already have social insurance. But that social insurance will be canceled upon your landing, and you have to open the permanent one, which will technically stay with you forever until you die. So basically that's how Canadian become Canadian. And how to do that? The first point of contact is Service Canada, that basically Ministry of Social Services in Canada, and you visit it. You don't have to make an appointment. Some people try to do it online. I don't recommend it, because if you visit Service Canada, you're not only doing this within minutes and right away you have this number. I always tell people, go to Service Canada when you obtain your social insurance number, because it just makes sense to see what else is available there. And it's okay, Canada is a very hospitable country, and we have so many services for newcomers. Why ignore it, right? So yeah, but how to do that? Right on the spot, upon landing. Don't wait for PR card when you have your copper stamp at the border. Next morning, same day, you can go to Service Canada and get your social insurance number.
Thank you, Dr. Alex, for your answers, and we hope these insights from you will help our clients to prepare for a smooth landing in Canada.
Absolutely. I just wish people to share this with someone who they think may benefit from this. Like this channel, subscribe, leave comment below, because we're interested to hear your stories of landing, and stay safe.